And we are back with our second run of the CGDQ 10th anniversary special, which is going to be Mega Man 2 by the same runner as before, Coolkid. So, Coolkid he's ready to go. He performed an excellent Mega Man 1 run, so go ahead and let Coolkid kick things off. And Sinister 1 will be joining us on commentary for this solid run. So, let's go.
Hey, Coolkid, how's it going?
Good. I'm I'm very pleasantly surprised by that Mega Man 1 run. So, all right.
Yeah, that was quite a run, man. 1908. Nice job.
Thank you. But okay, so it's time to Mega Man 1 is that's a pretty chill game, pretty relaxing game. Now Mega Man 2 is gonna get a bit more intense.
There is no chill. There is no chill. So, well, let's take a little trip down memory lane while you get started here. Frezzy Man ran this game at the original CGDQ, along with 14 other games. He ran 15 games. So, I mean, it's amazing that you're running 3, but he ran 15. He is your countryman as well. He's the Swede of speed. Did you ever get to meet him by chance?
I met him at one at the ESA 2013, I believe.
Okay.
It was a European speedrun event. So yeah, I've seen him. I'm sure I spoke to him, but I saw him. I've seen him in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
The legend. So yeah, his time was 36:06. I think you have a decent chance of beating that, given that the strats have changed a little bit. So
I'll try my best.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All
you
right.
could go ahead and give me a countdown.
I'm gonna count you down. We're gonna get this thing started in 3, 2, 1, go. And of course, the route is going to be a little bit different. Frezzy Man was doing mostly a zipless run. He did include one zip that we'll talk about a little later, but you are, of course, doing the zips route, which is much more fun and exciting, even if the first stage is not. It's just Flash Man. But I believe that you also hold the world record in this game. Isn't that so?
I do.
You
about
do.
A tenth
so.
of a second.
By a tenth of a second over Cypher. The time has come quite a bit lower than what it was back in 2010. So in 2010, there was a man named Seth Glass that had the record of 27:49. And you have lowered that time by over a minute. I believe you have the 26:39, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the number?
37.
37, I'm sorry. I tried to cheat you by 2 seconds. All right.
That's a big deal, all right, Sinister?
It is. No, in this game, it's actually a very big deal. Obviously, only has the record by a tenth of a second. But yeah, things have come a long way, so I think it'll be exciting to see the difference that 10 years has made. And Seth Glass run did come out after CGDQ, so I think there may not have even been a Zips run that people really had known about or seen at the time of the original marathon. So first up, we got Flash Man. This is a tricky fight. Coolkid gonna have to do some crazy movement and get in 14 shots here. It's like riding a bike. My goodness. Beautiful fight.
I remember, again, watching, because Seth Glass, he had the fastest time run for Mega Man 1, and also, remember, like, his runs were just so far ahead of its time. I mean, for being, like, back then, 2010, like, the quality and the optimization, I remember just, again, watching his Mega Man 1 run and watching his Mega Man 2 run and thinking that this is
This is
like,
insane.
how can it get any better than this? Like, the platforming.
Right. Yeah, he had really, really solid runs, and yeah, anybody that was around back then, they were very, very impressed by his runs, and but even now, it's like his runs still kind of stand the test of time, because some of the strats have been changed and improved since then, so there's a natural advantage in just routing that newer runners will have over Seth Glass. But if you're a new runner coming to this game and you're trying to beat Seth Glass, it's going to take you a while. All right, so next up we got Heatman. Now that we have our item 3, you will be able to do zips. The main way of zipping in this game is you're going to want to use your items and get them underneath you while you are in a place where you are not directly under a ceiling. So a ladder will do, and Coolkid is going to be on this ladder right here. He's going to be able to get onto his item 3. that's going to allow him to get stuck in the ceiling because the game is checking where the item is, not where Mega Man is. And once you get stuck in the ceiling, thankfully the programmers did have the foresight to be like, well, we don't want people to soft block. So they made a way that you could escape.
And also, I guess the big difference now is that we play on the Japanese version and we play on difficult mode. Back then, it seemed like the norm was to play on normal mode, North American version. But it's sort of something that just have changed over time, and especially something that especially changed it were the amount of Japanese runner that this game has.
Yeah, they definitely came on the scene, and that's I think when people actually realize, like, whoa, this Japanese text in the cutscenes is faster. You know, these guys are kind of getting an advantage, but ultimately, there really is not an advantage because the boss fights are easier in the North American version. It only takes 7 shots to kill, say, Flashman and Heatman, which Coolkid right now is doing. It takes 14 shots. So even though you get that faster text, it all evens out in the end because you get the slower boss fights.
Yeah, it's surprisingly even. It's quite fascinating, I'd say, just how even the difficult on Japanese version compared to normal mode on North American version.
Yeah, it's really interesting how that worked out. Most games, it's like there is a distinct advantage of playing on the Japanese version if you get faster text. There's like no downside to it, but this game is kind of the one exception to the rule. So nice job there getting out of Heatman. Really, the early game of the run is very, very scary, but you have picked up item 1 now. Item 1, of course, is the item that will allow Coolkid to do the majority of zips in this game. Now, in order to do a zip, you need a ceiling. If you're in Airman stage, you're kind of up in the air. There's not really a ceiling, but Coolkid going to go ahead and use the time stopper. These enemies would normally have these little horns that would come out. He's going to avoid that, and then he's going to break out the item 1 to get across this chasm a little faster. Alright, great job there by Coolkid. That is a super scary section. You're going across there with just your item 1s. If you fall, you are done. So Coolkid able to survive that, and he's made it through kind of the terrifying early game part of this run. Now, there's still a lot of things that can go wrong later on, but it's like, okay, at least I didn't die in Heatman and Airman. That's what usually happens when you speedrun this game. You'll die in those stages quite a bit. So nice job.
Especially Airman is just such a downer. You die in air in item 1 section. It's like, great, my run's ruined.
Yeah, it's a huge time loss. So Airman is the last enemy that's gonna have to just be fought with the Buster until refights. And again, 14 shots is what you need. He has 5 different patterns, so hopefully he'll give a good pattern a few times for Coolkid here. You are gonna have 3 cycles. Terrible pattern there. Okay, there's the good pattern. Coolkid able to take some intentional damage, and he's gonna be able to finish the fight before Airman gets too far over. You don't want him coming over to the left side of the screen. So,
a little low in health that time because I took an intentional hit on the first screen, but fortunately I was fortunately fine. Sometimes you end up getting a pattern where you'll get hit 3 times. There's no way to avoid getting hit 3 times, and if that would have happened, I would not have made it.
Would you have been a goner? I couldn't tell. It's hard when I'm watching on the restream. I can't actually see like what your health is. It just looks like a chunk. Did you have 4?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
So,
well, good thing you survived that. So Coolkid is coming up on a trick that he discovered. It's called Biggie. I'm gonna let him focus and try to hit this thing, but it's 2 zips in the first screen, and it's a really big trick. Nailed it! Wow.
Every time.
Easy every time. That's actually a very hard trick, guys.
They definitely didn't do that back in the...
No, that was not done back in the day.
So,
and I think you found that before you ran this game even, right?
I did. I was sort of obsessed with this game before I started running it, but the reason why I didn't run it is because I dreaded the early game. I was like, I don't want to play air, heat, and flash and sit through those cutscenes every time. But, well, I ended up doing it anyway after...
Nah.
But yeah,
eventually
that was...
you couldn't resist.
Yeah. No, but a very, sort of interesting thing about this game is that the strats, they haven't evolved by that much. Again, the record time has been brought down by about, what was it, 1 minute and 10 seconds in 10 years?
Yeah. It's actually pretty crazy, and it's not for lack of attention paid to this game. This game has a ton of runners and a ton of people that have tasked the game. So this game has been really well investigated. It's just that there's really nothing there. I mean, you know, all the most broken stuff was found pretty early on, and it's just been small optimizations like that fight Coolkid just did. That's actually a strat that was found by Prizzy, where if you immediately shoot to the left, it'll force Clashman to jump at you, and then you're able to evaluate if he's doing a long jump or a medium jump, and you can adjust your movement to get a 2-cycle on him always. So that's a small improvement, but I think even that's not technically the fastest kill. It's just, it makes sure you consistently get that 2-shot kill. Right,
exactly. The just hoping for the best luck is slightly faster, best pattern.
So now that we have the item 1, there's going to be a lot more zipping. So there's 2 zips in this stage. The first one is a little bit of a tough setup. It's going to be after this laser section. You have to place 3 item 1s. It's the only zip you really have to place 3 item 1s to get to the ceiling because of how high it is. And great job there on the setup. And to trigger the zips, just for that zip, for instance, you have to trigger it with the A button and then pressing left. And when you trigger it with A, you have only a 4-frame window to trigger the zip. If you trigger with B, which the majority of the zips you do trigger with B, you have, I believe, a 16-frame window in order to press left. So the A triggers are a little bit scary. I mean, 4 frames is not a lot. But good job, and Coolkid picking up the 1-up there. That's kind of a just-in-case situation because of Woodman, which we'll talk about later, but it's always good to have that 1 extra life because if you take intentional deaths. Nice job on the second zip. You do not want to over-zip that door. If you over-zip that door, it's a soft lock. So Coolkid stopped a little bit short. He was able to wiggle his way in there. And now this is one of the coolest fights in the game.
Okay, sort of played it safe, but okay.
Yeah, that was a pretty ugly pattern, but nice job. Nice job handling that. Yeah, you don't want to see Quickman do a short jump immediately. You're pretty much getting a bad pattern when that happens.
Right, yeah.
There's no avoiding it.
Like whenever he does that, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to do. My strategy is to just hope that he doesn't do that, and then. But...
Right, that's all you can do. All right, so here we go with Woodman. So Woodman, the reason that Coolkid picked up that 1-up is because he is going to take an intentional death in this stage to get to the boss much, much faster than what you would if you took the normal path through the stage. But he's going to have to do a lot of zips, and some of them can result in over-zipping past a screen, and then you have to take 2 deaths instead of 1. So let's see if he's able to set up this first zip and the second one. Those are the 2 ones that are crucial.
No, okay, there we go. I was pretty sure that I didn't over-zip. It took a while.
All right, yeah, a little scary there, but okay, you're through. Once you're through the first 2 screens, you can actually over-zip the 3rd screen. It's not a penalty, but great job. Those are called the dog scrolls. Now Coolkid is out of bounds, so the game thinks that, okay, well, he's advancing through the screens. Even though he's not, the screen that you see visually is not changing, the screens are actually layered on top of each other in this game. So each time he moves a certain amount, the game is saying, okay, we're in room 2. Now we're in room 3. Now we're in room 4. Now we're in room 5. And then before you know it, you're going to be right there next to the boss room, which is where Coolkid is going to end up as soon as he's finished with this crazy, crazy sequence. He's going to use Heatman charged up to take a death because that cancels the death animation, and he instantly spawns in the boss corridor. He's ready to fight Woodman with the air shooter. It's only going to take a couple shots, and we're going to be moving on.
Cool.
All right, Woodman down. So you can see once you start to get these weapons, the bosses become quite a bit easier, and they're not going to be very challenging until we get to refights, which is going to be in a little while. But refights is a different story. You will have some of your weapons to use, but some of the fights you will not. And the boss rooms are actually one tile smaller, which kind of makes things a little different. So, all right, on to Metal Man. This is a lot of the fans of this game. This is their favorite music. If you're in the chat there, you can shout out what stage has your favorite music in this game. It's got a lot of good tracks to choose from. What would you say is yours?
Yeah, I think now, I think it's either Quickman or Bubble.
Yeah, I like Bubble.
Quickman's theme that I love.
Yep, you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong.
I'm gonna go with the unpopular opinion and Wily 6.
Oh man. Alright, so Coolkid was able to get the 2 zips there. You have like one of the longest zips in the game, followed by one of the shortest zips, and then you just ride your item 2 all the way across. Makes things nice and easy. Riding item 2 is faster than walking, so you do want to use the opportunities you have in long horizontal sections. It's roughly 3 seconds faster if you use the entire item 2. So Coolkid able to do that. Key thing here to know in this fight is he just does not want to cross the midway point of the screen, and Metal Man will stay on the right side. So that's why Coolkid is just kind of bouncing up and down there, getting in his 7 shots, and that's the end of Metal Man. We do have a few votes for Metal Man in the chat here. All right, so we're on to Bubble Man. This is where Frezzy Man famously did his only zip of his run. And for those of you at home, I'll tell you where it is. It's the first zip that Coolkid's going to do. You can actually pause your way over to this zip. You don't need to set it up with item 1, even though it's much easier to set it up with item 1. But I guess Frezzy just didn't, he was not aware of it at the time. So Coolkid executing a very dangerous strat there, going past those frogs. It makes me nervous, but great job getting through there. So right here, Coolkid is coming up on the screen where you can just pause. Every time you pause, it resets your horizontal position it slows down your movement speed. So you can just pause your way all the way over. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are in for a treat right now. Coolkid is going for it.
I can't believe this is a thing.
This is a thing, ladies and gentlemen. He has paused his way into the ceiling. You don't need item 1. You just need your start button, and there you go. I love it. The tribute to Frezzy, man. That was beautiful, man. Thank you. Now we're gonna do a real zip. This is the item 2 zip, which is incredibly difficult. The Coolkid nails it on the first time because he is a champ at this game. All right, that was beautiful. That was a beautiful segment there. Now, Bubble Man, a couple different patterns. You're hoping for the 1 bubble. 2 bubbles ain't bad, but 3 bubbles will cause a lot of lag. All right, 2 bubble, not bad. And with a 16-15 kill, Coolkid has defeated the 8 robots built by Dr. Wily. Now it's time to take on Dr. Wily himself. That's a very good time. Coolkid.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
considering I did that zip.
That you did that zip. Yeah, I mean, come on, like that probably cost you at least like 5 seconds right there. I mean, but it was worth it. That was definitely worth it.
For sure, I could not pass up on it.
I'm so glad you did that. I was not expecting it. I'll be honest. Man. Did you actually have to practice that, or did you just do it you're just like, I'm just going to try it?
I do have some practice with it, so I've done...
Okay, so you've done it before.
Yeah, I've done Buster only speedruns, and that's the strategy you do for Buster only.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right, so we're on into the Wily stages. Coolkid gonna right away make use of his item 2. Now keep in mind, your item energy does not refresh in between Wily stages. So he basically is almost out of item 2. He's got just a little bit left. He's gonna use it right here in order to get up on this pillar, and then he's gonna be able to use it again in Wily 2. Now switch over to item 1. Oh no, he got pushed back. He needed to be about 1 pixel further to the right in order to get in the ceiling there. You can do a vertical zip, but that's a very tough one to set up. So that's all right. We have another opportunity to zip here, guys. This is a tough one to set up. Coolkid gonna give it a shot.
A little low, but
that was good though. He's in the ceiling, and now you can see he vertically wraps the screen. So most of the zips you guys have seen have been horizontal. This is a vertical zip. That one saves about 4 seconds, and we're headed on over to fight the dragon. This is one of my all-time favorite boss fights. Like when you're a kid and you're just going, you're like so focused on this platforming and like, don't die, don't fall in the pit, don't fall in the pit. And then all of a sudden this massive dragon appears like chasing you, and you're just like, oh no. So awesome. So quick boomerang gonna make quick work of this enemy though.
Sorry about the excessive flashing, by the way, on these bosses. It's gonna flash pretty.
Yeah. Sorry about that, everyone. There is if you have sensitivity or seizures, any of that stuff, definitely this is not the game for you. There's a lot of flashing in these wily stages when you beat the bosses. It's just a thing that they thought was cool at the time. You know, maybe they toned it down a little bit in the future Mega Man games. But here we go. So, alright, so Coolkid this time is going to do another dangerous zip setup here. He's going to use his iframes to get hit by this enemy. And sneak on in the ceiling. And boom, there it is, able to extend that zip just a little bit. So if you pause in the middle of the zip, it actually resets your momentum. You get that little bit of extra momentum to be able to reach the ladder there. And Coolkid was able to do that. So he is through the most dangerous part of this stage. Now he's going to be entering this hallway. If you do the leaf shields just right, you can avoid getting any drops. Let's see how it goes. Great leaf shields there. So only 1 drop fell. That's really good. Break out the item 3. We got plenty of that. That's going to be mostly used in Wily 4. And Time Stopper. This is the best use of Time Stopper. Just make sure those spike things don't fall on you. You're able to just run through that section.
I wanted to try something spicy there. But
oh man,
we made it.
Okay, I thought you died when I heard that. I was like, please no. All right, Coolkid was going for the 1 tile fall. You can actually fall through that gap in between the spikes and the platform. It's quite tight. So I'm just glad that it didn't result. If you miss it a lot of times, you die. But Coolkid able to avoid that fate, thankfully. And this boss fight is scripted. These enemies all come out from the same spots. You just got to hit them with 3 metal blades, and you're good to go. And that's the end of that one.
It's not that bad, but well, I made it.
You made it.
I mean, the drop.
All right, so everybody in the chat, get ready. How many Saba pings are we going to see? 0, 1, or 2? Let me see your Saba pings in chat. Make your prediction. Right now, we're headed into Wily 3.
We got
what
about 4 screens of gameplay until we get there.
You got to do it, man. I'm going to go with 1. I am going to say 1.
Well, you got to put it in chat, so it doesn't count.
Okay, here we go.
There's 1. No, there's 2. All right, for everybody that guessed 2, congratulations. You have won the Saba Ping game. Those fish come out when they want to come out. There's nothing you can do about it. So we got both Saba Pings, everyone. So now Coolkid is going to display his amazing mashing technique yet again. Now, he had already displayed it once on the dragon, but this time it's a little bit tougher because he's going to be jump mashing. Jump mashing is very, very hard to do, but on this boss, you need to do it. So he's going to try to kill this boss in 3 jumps. If you can kill this guy in 3 jumps, you got some good mashing. Oh, easy. Man. That was nice. I think you only needed like 2 or 3 shots on that final jump. That was a very, very nice sequence.
Yeah, I'm yet to have done it in just 2. If you have a really good match, you can do it in just 2, but tough.
Yes,
Like
I think is Elo the only one that's done 2, or has
far as I
anybody
know.
else done it?
I mean, like in a run at least. I don't know about like practice.
Elo has it as in its PB.
Right.
Ninja used to hold the record for this game, this category, for a long time.
Indeed. So Coolkid now in one of the toughest stages. He's done some very nice item 3 placements. He's going to set up a vertical zip right here. This is going to get him through to the top screen. He's going to be able to set up a mini zip by entering the ceiling at the top of this screen. Thankfully, he has enough item 3. And mini zip right here. Then he's got to be careful in these spike screens. He's going to be able to use iframes and some other things to make sure he gets through these screens without having to wait on those platforms. Takes a very, very long time. But this is one of the most dreaded stages. If you've ever played this game, you know to fear this stage. But in speedrunning, it is equally dreaded, but there's at least you can get through it much faster. So nice job, nice use of iframes there. Coolkid through that room. He does not get, there is a way that you can just die there. And thankfully that didn't happen. It's completely random. And Coolkid gonna set up one more final zip. He needs to not go past the door here. Excellent job. Okay, one more tiny zip just to get out of the ceiling. Oh, went a little too early. That's okay. That's okay. He's got item 1.
Fortunately, exited 1 frame too early. But
so Coolkid has recovered it. He's able to get a double there. He got his shot. You really don't have enough crash bombs for this fight. The programmers of this game just really wanted to make it hard on people. But he's able to get a second double as well and get the damage transfer. So Coolkid able to save himself 2 crash bombs, which is going to come in very, very handy in the next stage of refights. But great recovery there, Coolkid. That could have gone very, very badly with the early zip exit.
Yeah, definitely could have. Yeah, I'm happy I have 2 crash bombs for this stage.
Yeah, refights is a tough one, guys. Ideally, you don't want to pick up too much health, because picking up health obviously wastes time, but you do take damage in here, and Quick Man is a tough fight. So Coolkid going to try to minimize the amount of damage that he takes in this fight. And so far, just taking 1 shot of boomerangs. Great job on that fight. So Coolkid has a good health situation. He is going to do the Prizzy strat once again. Shoot that shot to the left, get in a double, get in a single. That's the end of that. We're headed to Woodman. This is the task strat. This is incredibly, incredibly difficult.
Almost at it. No.
Not quite, but still a fast kill nonetheless. Woodman is down. Now it's time for the RNG. Is Airman going to hook it up? Can we get a 2-cycle 1 time? Yes, we can. Excellent job there. That's a tougher pattern for a 2-cycle, but Coolkid handled it like a champ. Now it's up to Heatman. This time, only got to shoot him 5 times instead of 14. And Coolkid with amazing movement. Got slightly better than average luck there. Bubble Man. And nice job there. Got a 3 bubble, which is a little bit laggy, but handled it very, very well. Metal Man. This is the old high metal, bi metal. It's the end of that fight. And then, of course, Flashman, who's also going to go down to Metal Blades pretty quickly. Just need a couple of these, and then those 2 crash bombs that Coolkid was able to save are going to come in quite handy here against the machine. Going to throw a couple Metal Blades first just to take down the health, make the fight a little bit faster. Hits the first crash bomb, hits the second one. That was a really good refight, man. I don't know if you realize.
Oh, was it? I guess so.
The only Woodman was a little bit slow, but everything else, you were crushing all those fights. So nice job. All right, and we're coming up on the final stage here, guys. So get ready for time. Coolkid is going to set up 1 last zip. This one you don't even have to trigger; it triggers automatically. You just have to get yourself in the ceiling. Oh,
no.
Rejected. All right, we're gonna take the walk. That's okay,
Sorry,
guys.
I get to hear more of my favorite music. It's fine.
Yes, that is the one added benefit. I do think Coolkid might just still narrowly edge out Frezzy Man's 3606. But he's going to have to beat the alien. It's going to be close.
It depends on this boss fight. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Let's get it.
don't touch the alien, it does a lot of damage. You can touch the bullets, though. That helps.
Time right there.
There it is. Great job. Coolkid with the sub 28. Anytime you get a 27 in this game, you have done a great job. So 27.54, that is absolutely amazing. Great run, man.
Yeah, thank you. And that was, I mean, 10 years later or so, not quite, but Steph Glass I did not quite beat Steph Glass' record from back then, so.
But you almost did.
Yep.
You almost beat 2010 world record. I mean, technically you probably did, because his run didn't come out until April of 2010. So maybe he didn't have exactly 27.49 by that time. We don't know exactly what his time was. So you know what? I think you did. I think you did beat the world record at the time of Classic Games Done Quick. I'm gonna give it to you.
Oh, yes. All right, I feel accomplished. Nice.
Well, we know you definitely did for Mega Man 1, so, we're 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
All right. Well, yeah, it was awesome. Thank you so much, Sinister, for the commentary. That was great.
You bet.
But we'll see Sinister in a little bit. He's got a run of his coming up pretty soon in Double Dragon. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break while we transition over to Mega Man 3 by none other than Coolkid. So we'll be back in just a few minutes.